One of the things that Spirit's been training me in when it comes to protection work recently is maybe a little less spiritual than you might think. But we're going to talk about it because you know what? I've been talking about protection work for like a couple days now on my page, and it feels necessary to bring up, especially since Spirit and my spirits are the ones who are like, hey, pay attention. When you're out in public, start paying attention to the exits, how many people are around. Put together a mental preparation plan for if it hits the fan, okay? If things go wrong really quick. You have already had an internal, sort of a shorter conversation. It doesn't need to be a really long one, right? But a shorter internal conversation about these situations that are possibly could happen. Not that they would, but like the world is what it is right now. One of these examples is I paid for a ride. Okay, I don't have a car right now, so I paid for a ride. When we got to my drop-off point, the doors didn't unlock. And I tried it for a second, and I immediately internally had this like kind of freak out moment because why are they not unlocking? And my driver, him, by the way, he was like, oh, sorry, whatever. For him, it wasn't a big deal. But for me, I immediately, that was a dangerous situation, right? So when I got out of the car and I started walking up to my destination, Spirit immediately was like, okay, well, what would you have done? Like, you're freaked out about it, but like, you need to put this into application. What would you have done in that situation? So I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, well, I would have done this, this, and this. And like, if this hadn't worked, I'd have done this. And Spirit was like, okay, well, there you go. You have your answer now. Start thinking about those things. So kind of since then, Spirit has started working with me about that kind of stuff. Another one, I was at a club on New Year's Eve and Spirit I got flashed into it because I was having fun. I was partying and whatever with my friends. It was a good time, right? And I got flashed into this moment where Spirit brought me back to reality. I was like, what do you see around you? If things were to go wrong right now, what would you do? Where would you go? Because it was in an underground space, which is not where you normally would go for outdoor, not at home activities. So Spirit was like, really think about this. This is a different situation than you're normally in. Like, what would you do? Even my dreams, the spirits in my dreams even have been training me in these things. They've been giving me different, it's almost like going into a simulator, like a computer simulator, and they give me different like situations that I should be training myself in thinking about. Like if you're in the situation, you have to have a plan before you go into it. So just if you feel called to do that, if you don't do it. But if you feel called to do it, when you notice that you're out in public and you haven't thought about it yet, kind of no matter where you are, what would you do? How would you go about it? And then also like, what is the aftermath? How would you handle that? I've been doing that for probably about a month and a half. About a month. It's been something that's been it helps keep me calm. It also helps me be prepared. And I feel much more capable when I think about that kind of stuff. Because not only have I thought about my own capabilities, I thought about the world that's around me, and I thought about different situations that could pop up and what I would do with them. Start having that kind of mentality. Premeditated escape, okay? Premeditated solution. You're not premeditating harm, but it is a premeditation. Work with it if you need to, okay? Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up your brew as you need to. Hopefully, if this helps, I'm grateful that I could offer it. And I'll talk to you soon. Also true.